With all logic aside, maybe it's the term love, which has always been the issue in our heads and the reason some of us are not able to build sustainable and healthy relationships. And I'm not just talking for you guys. This is even directed at myself. My love life is an entire big mess that I don't think I'm ever going to understand until I find someone who kicks me up the arse and teaches me it. But recently I've been doing some deep thinking and lots of research, not into like what love is, but into the terminology of love and what the word actually identifies as, and how a lot of people in society today use this word very incorrectly. Maybe we love more people on this planet than we think. Maybe some of our best friends could even be identified as lovers, but we're scared to admit it. The only reason they're friends is because you identified them as friends, and society makes out that a friend may never be a lover. Just maybe you might not be able to love others if you don't love yourself. Let's dive into this subject and have a long, hard discussion about it. What's up guys, welcome back to the Focus the Future channel. I hope we are all having an amazing day. Today we're actually talking about something that some and most of you will be able to relate to, especially if you're a teenager trying to find this right now. We're talking about love and general people's love life and how we might be looking at the word wrong this entire time. Anyway, if you're interested in all that, stay tuned. If you're not, use the card above to go ahead and find out a bit more about me. Also, any videos that I mention during this and anything I do mention will be linked in the description below, so please check the description afterwards. But apart from that, I hope you enjoy it, and let's find out a bit more about your love life. Love is so complex. There's so many different aspects to it. There's so many different things to think about. You've got communication, you've got trust, you've got affection, but then you've got your own needs and your own emotions to deal with. You've got serious conversations to have, but you've also got fun to have. You've also got sex, and you've also got commitment. You'd think this word would be so simple and such an easy thing to build on, but in most sides, it's really not. It's a deep and hard topic, and not many people talk about it in the correct way. The word love is thrown around like no one else's business, like it's just a word that means nothing. And more recently, I've realised that it's got such more of a bigger meaning than what it's expressed as. And more to the point, the main problem with all this is they don't exactly teach you this crap in school. So a lot of people are left to their own accord to figure out what love is, not really knowing where they're going. And a lot of people never will figure out what love is. They just kind of hope and pray that they've found it. Everyone talks about this implied term, the one, or the person I'm meant to spend the rest of my life with. Can we just put a massive red line through that, please? I'm not going to be able to edit that in because I'm not that advanced. But in your head, just forget that about that, because it's the biggest sort of bullcrap you are ever going to hear. There's not one person out there who you could spend the rest of your life with. There's multiple. It just depends on who's willing to work with you, sacrifice with you, and build with you a committed relationship that's gonna last. It's not like someone sits there in the high heavens and picks two people and sticks them together and magically it works. Sadly, it doesn't work like that. The chances are that some of the people in your closest friend group have the skills, the abilities, and the qualities that you need in your life to be your partner. But you choose to not to, which I haven't even got around my head yet. A lot of that has just got to do with the pure idea that society respects a friend as a friend, and a friend shouldn't go no further than just being a friend. Or less chemistry is built. But then again, a lot of people don't even know how to identify when there is chemistry. A lot of people think that a few butterflies in their stomach means that there's chemistry. Again, all a load of shit. The saying, I love you, means I fully commit to you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, not because some magical fairies come along and touched both of us on the forehead and made us bond, but because you have qualities, traits, and general laughs that not many other people can give me. And the true meaning of it is, do you want to work with me to build that? That's what you're saying when you say, I love you. It doesn't mean that you're attractive. It doesn't even mean you're funny. It doesn't really mean you're beautiful. It doesn't even mean that that person likes you. They're making a formal request. But a lot of people use it as a way of showing affection. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a way of showing affection by saying I love you. You are showing that person that there is a connection between the two of you. But saying that it just means that you're a lovely human being and, you know, for some reason I have some weird fond of you is the biggest load of bullcrap I could ever hear. The ideology that there's one person out there for every other human being psychologically doesn't even work. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and the only reason we're here is to reproduce. And as sad as it is, there's not one human being on Earth who we can reproduce with. If one human really wants to, they could build a relationship with absolutely anyone. It just takes two people to be committed to it. And to be fair, it doesn't really take much spark. The term, I got a spark from him, or I got a spark from her, means that you two had a connection, but that doesn't mean there's chemistry. All that means is you two got on well together. It doesn't mean you're not going to argue in the future. There's a saying that says good relationships don't just happen. They take time, patience, and two people who truly want to work together. That, my friends, is love. If you're willing to be patient, if you're willing to give time, if you're willing to work together, if you're willing to be affectionate with a person, you love them. But wanting to do that and wanting to be with someone and have patience, commitment, and want to work with them and want to give time to them might just not happen to someone you have romantic feelings for. It could happen to some of the best people in your life, counted as best friends. You see, love is a choice. It's not a magical feeling within you. You choose. It's not like the minute you fall in love, love can't be broken. If an argument happened or you found out that person was cheating on you, magically them feelings seem to go away. Sometimes they don't get me wrong, there's a massive grieving process afterwards, but that's not even because you loved them. That's probably more because you were annoyed at them and you wanted it to work out. You're not actually annoyed at the fact that they were a nice human being. You're annoyed at the fact that you just wasted possibly years of your life. You're annoyed at the fact that you didn't get that person's DNA. That your child won't carry on their genetics. It's something that I've just really had to have a big sit down and think about recently. And it's not been easy to take in. It's like everything I ever thought a relationship was is suddenly just not true. What teenagers postpone it to be suddenly seems to be false. And the mental health related issues that are caused by people not being educated on the term is immense. I don't know. Immense. There we go. People come down with severe insecurities, come down with severe anxieties, and question what they're really doing. But what they don't realise is that they have a choice. You choose who you love. No bumbly genetical miracle happens and suddenly two people are bumped together. You have a choice. And it's a big one. It would be lovely if God just decided to place another human being in front of us and be like, hi, how you doing? So, you're the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, eh? Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's great. If God did that, the world would be pretty simple. But again, as sad as that is, that's not the case. So, ladies and gentlemen, erase any thoughts you had that love was this miracle feeling that only comes around once a year. Because in fact, it can come multiple times a year. It could come every day of your life, in fact. You just have to choose it. You have to decide whether you're going to commit to someone, if you're going to give someone patience, if you're going to give someone the truth, if you're going to give someone affection, and if you're going to give someone sexual pleasure. That's a choice. That's not an enforcement. Yeah, you get a little stomach feeling every so often because someone might be sexually attractive and, you really want to have kids with them. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean you love them. That doesn't mean, oh yeah, I want to commit the rest of my life to this person, give them time, space, communication and effort. Doesn't mean that. A relationship really consists of choice and passion. How much do two people really give a shit about each other? And that care and energy for that person can be broken with one argument, one disagreement, and one decisive moment of pure vileness. I don't know how people are going to take this. A lot of people are probably just not going to believe me because they've got this fantasy idea in their head that Charles I is going to turn up and take them to their romantic other, who's going to be called this really romantic name. And that person's going to take them to some romantic island and they'll sit there and snog on the beach for hours and suddenly a life will be built. Again, sadly, that's very inaccurate. In truth, relationships take comfort, take communication, take a hell of a lot of pleasure, take a lot of openness, take a hell of a lot of fun, and a hell of a lot of commitment. But every single one of them things is a choice. You, psychologically, choose to do them things. But you can't choose to do them things if you don't do one thing with yourself. And that is love yourself. I don't want to just rant at you about the fact that, all your wildest dreams about your love life have suddenly just gone down the drain. I actually want to try and give you some inspiration here and give you a bit of comfort that love is possible. And actually, this is not a negative thing at all. If I'm honest, it gives you more options. It makes the many fish in the sea saying a bit more actual logic. And not just a saying that a bunch of old grannies put together to try and make their kids feel better about themselves. If you haven't worked on yourself, if you can't control your emotions, if you can't control your feelings, if you don't know what you need and how to get them needs, if you can't live with yourself, how can you expect someone else to come along and give that to you? Even more so, how can you expect to be able to give that to someone else? Fulfilling yourself, your own needs, your career, and making sure that you can live alone even if that person decides to ditch it is more important than finding a partner. Finding a partner and having a love life is a piece of luxury. It's a luxury that scientifically has been proven to be important, but it's still a luxury. You have to earn it. And trust me, it's not easy. You have to fight battles. You have to go through many mental traumas. You have to learn a lot. And oh boy, you have to go through it many times to pick out the skills that you're going to need to find the one Wait, the one's not saying anymore. Fuck. A broken heart cannot build onto another. Because you know why? Because two hearts can't connect if there's a massive line in the middle. The symmetrical symmetry between them two shapes don't exactly connect very well. Because one of them's broken. And that's the biggest mistake I've made throughout my entire life. Is I dated people who did not love themselves. They could have been perfectly decent human beings, but they had no idea how to love themselves and couldn't fulfill their own needs. And I ended up in a loop cycle of trying to give that to them, which was never gonna work. So, if we're gonna take anything from this video, I want you to take this. Work on yourself. Become the best version of yourself. Find someone else who has done the exact same. And build an amazing future together. You two are a team. You're not on the opposite side. But also remember that forgiveness is the best form of love. And it takes a strong person to say sorry. And to work together in a team, even if one of you makes a mistake. So, go out there, build a love life, have fun, but remember, you don't have one specific person you're looking to find. The options are open. It's up to you who you decide to love.